surprised Clint Eastwood's still alive. But yeah, at least he's not having Bruce Lee have Spartan. Probably have a rematch from Way of the Dragon.
Okay, great. All right, so join us over here. Should we go inside the gallery? Should I start out here? Okay. I guess we'll start out here, and then what I'm going to have, I know that not every junior student is here, but it would be great to know who is here, just for posterity's sake, but also eventually I'll have all of the junior students stand near their work, and then just a brief introduction, and maybe say something about the project, whether it was a class assignment and what that was and how you responded to it. If it's an abstract subject matter that maybe you want to explain your process through, that would be great. And then take some questions from us about your work. So I'm going to read something to you from my phone. Sorry, I usually like to print everything out so that I don't have my face on my phone, but here we are. So I wasn't sure exactly how to start the show and sort of introduce everything, other than say that this is the culmination of the third year review, which every art major goes through. In junior seminar, they get their work ready, prepared for digitally and physically to have a walkthrough with all 4 full-time art faculty members. And I think a lot can come out of that, good revelations about the students' work, and it's a good way to take the temperature before we enter into the senior year next year. And sort of understanding themes that are emerging that maybe students hadn't thought about previously. So it's useful. And then this is super useful to us as a laboratory, so that everybody can kind of work through what it means to put a show together, sort of get prints made of their work, install hardware on the back of their work, understand sort of the basics of everything that's 60 inches off the floor and how to pair things together. I think that all kind of, whether the junior students are totally aware of it or not, really makes a huge difference for senior year. And I think a lot of you have noticed that about putting this show together. So that's sort of the overview of what this show is. But then I also wanted to share with you something that I feel like just kind of came mystically, as many things do, from my mom in a text message. So this is, it seems like she always seems to send me something exactly when I need the thing. So this is a quote, and it was found in the Lost Diaries of Sandro Botticelli, which some of you know is a Florentine painter from the 1400s. So this is in the summer of 1480, a quote from Botticelli, and that I loved. Vision, to an artist, is the guiding light that steers the hand. It is the most central, the most powerful of the senses for any who, in pursuit of beauty, aspires to imitate divine creation with a pen and brush, to form a bridge connecting the inner soul with the boundless external world. Yet, in these perilous times, it seems every lantern in Florence has been extinguished, especially for those of us whom light is most vital. Instead, there's a shroud of darkness, and it seems the tribulations have only just begun. So that was 1480, so I hope it brings us all some light. So anyway, if you could, those of you who are in the show, go with your work, and then we'll talk to you, okay? My camera. Sorry, go ahead. Come on in. Oh yeah. I think. Oh really? Everybody's in there. I don't think any of these students. So, Christine, can we start with you?
He offered.
Jakai? Yes.
Jakai.
All right, Jakai.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hello.
So who are you?
My name is Jakai Gray. I play on the NPU basketball team. So this is my artwork. I made this piece in actually Maya's class. Shout out to you. The assignment basically was to choose a figure. So I chose myself, and we had to like pick. I forgot the number of colors, but we basically had to make the figure with that amount of colors. So I chose myself, dribbling basketball, and this is how it turned out.
Great. Do we want to go through everyone and then we'll take questions? Does that sound good?
I got a question. I so we have two pieces, we got two, one here,
This-
the other one, so.
This is a good one to stand in front of, and then you can direct them to the other one to look at later. Is that okay with you if we go through everybody and then take questions? Okay. Jennifer?
My name is Jennifer, and when I made this, it was basically for an assignment in Kelly's class where we had to make a style, copy a style from an artist from the early modern art. For mine, it was basically about synthetic cubism, but well, it's not exactly how I would describe the cubism, but I really like how I made the art very simplistic, and also in cubism there's also, and most of it's basically very simplistic, but also had it looked like the art feel like it was, some of it feel like it was coming out in some way, but I didn't, when I choose the objects in these pieces, I didn't really have an idea of what they were to me, but in some way I feel each one had some meaning, where the makeup brush was something that I sometimes criticize about of my own beauty in one way. The hourglass basically the time where often I mostly consume a lot of time with everything, and when time goes very fast, it just I don't notice until when I do, it just happens, and then I just start freaking out. And with the speaker, is basically how I like to listen to a lot of music, and a lot of the music I listen to, it basically represents me, where most of the lyrics often discuss about things that I often I'm trying to remember things about my past that I struggle with, and I want to try to fix those issues with myself.
So the cat figure, that's actually a speaker?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I do have a question, but I'm going to save it. So we have Paris is here, Jeritzi, and then G. You've got two. So that was over there. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, good evening. I was by G. This is my first piece, and the other one is in that corner. This was taken in New York, and this was just me wandering in the city by myself, capturing a very beautiful perspective of the city. This is Fifth Avenue, and the view is right when you exit the New York Public Library. And I was pretty much feeling blue at that time of my life, and I really loved how the sunset had disappeared, and there was only like a royal blue sky above me, and people running around trying to escape from the really heavy rain. And my favorite part is how the sky is being reflected, slightly reflected on the ground, and dividing the picture into two. And there are two people, which were a couple, stepping down, and this is perfectly capturing them from both sides. And I named it Mavi, which is from, in translation from Turkish language, blue, just the color blue. Yes, the favorite part of the photo would be probably the lights that are trying to take away the attention as the sun sets, and lights are being the first thing that people are looking up to, as they do not have a natural essence of it. And I was not really going through the best times of my life, and this reminds me of, well, I recall the saying, which most of you guys should know, happiness can be found in the darkest of times, if one remembers to look for the light. Do you guys know?
Yes.
Where is it from? From Albus Dumbledore. Yeah. Yeah, this is basically it. And I would say that this is one of the best pictures I've taken, just because how dear it is to my heart and how it reflects so many things at one time, at once.
Well, take it away.
Hello everyone, my name's Noel, and my piece is called Camouflage 2, and this is from Painting 2 from Kelly's class. And the original name was called Pairing and Disappearing, and this is my second piece. And this one's the night sky, the other one's it's more like an orange sky, so I made two of them to make it more interesting. And I decided to paint a caterpillar on the ground with a rock, and with some stars on it to make it more interesting. And yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, ma'am. I don't know. It's like abbreviating the applause. I don't know if we should applaud for everybody. We haven't established that as a group. We need rules here, people. So, Rebecca, do you want to go next? And then Christine.
Okay, my name is Becca, and the piece that I have presented is two different photographs that were taken at different times, but when presented at the junior critique, kind of a correlation and a connection between both, and like language between both was presented. This one was taken on the Brown Line, and this one was taken in Alabama last year during Easter break. And I think my photography, a lot of the themes that I center around is like the art of noticing and being present and just being in the perfect place at the perfect time. So for this one, I think just that small hint of light kind of reflects my presence in the moment. And yeah, I wouldn't have seen that if I wasn't looking up. And then this one, my roommate saw it outside the window on vacation, and she's like, Becca, look at that. That is just beautiful. And so then I looked at it, and I was like, that is the most beautiful light reflecting on that house. And it was perfectly centered between these trees, and it was a wonderful moment. And of course, the colors are similar, but also I think the experience of both of these moments were very similar. So them together creates a whole piece, which I really like. And it kind of reflects my whole process of taking photos and creating art.
Go ahead. That's the rule now. Everyone claps. Okay, great. And then I see Dritzy just came, so we'll do Christine, and then we'll come back to Dritzy. So it's okay.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm a graphic design major, and this art piece was from Emily's class, Drawing 2. And so basically the whole goal of this project was that we're supposed to take one of our drawings, and this is like a life-size drawing of the model we had, and we had to like add like some nature in it. I kind of like not really do that. I kind of twisted it in my own way. So basically this piece had like two other ones, and it was a whole story. Well, you can kind of tell by like this one, it kind of shows like there's this little bird. Basically, he was trying to find these two little animals on this map, and they were just trying to find colors. He was trying to convince these guys like, hey guys, let's go on a little adventure. And so this takes you to the second panel. And then now they're on a boat. I don't know where they're going, but they're on a boat. And now at the end, they found the freaking colors. Look at them, they're so tiny. But yeah, it's just a little story of them. But yeah, it's just something different that I did. And I guess I really like the mechanic stuff towards it. I don't know. It was just something dark, and I liked it. Yeah, it's finding color. Yeah.
Hey, Dritzy, I'm standing in your spot.
Hi, my name is Dritzy. I'm also a graphic design major. I have these two pieces, and I have another one on the other side. For this one, for my painting class, the prompt was to paint something appear and disappear. I kind of went based off like this butterfly whose wings are just like owl's eyes. For this one, I did acrylic on wood panel and also modeling paste. I really enjoyed this process because like it was my first time working with texture, and I feel like for both of these, I kind of play with texture, specifically in this photography image, and also color. Like I don't know, I feel like lately I've just been really loving like vibrant colors. This is for my photography class, which was to take a picture of anything and just mess around with editing it. And I just chose to play around with the color and texture and just like, yeah, just the vibrant colors.
Okay, I think that's everybody that's here in the show. And then, so does anyone have any questions for specific people or general questions about the process that you could direct to any graphic design major, for example, but you're welcome to ask anything.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I bet there's a varying degree of time invested in each of these pieces. I wondered if you could each comment on that. And some are separated by weeks, months maybe, but it's the same moment. So that was really intriguing. And these are separate. Is this a harbor in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. So those are separated by time and distance.
Yeah.
But if you could comment on that, I'd be interested in that.
I guess I'll go first. This one took, I would say, a few weeks to make. We illustrated this in Adobe Illustrator. And we had to use the pen tool to basically make the shapes of like a outline picture. So yeah, I would say about like 2 to 3 weeks. Like, yeah. But if you're really like on it every day, I'll say about like a week. It's not that. Yeah.
For this photo, it's probably just today, just having to take multiple pictures and choosing the one I wanted to use and having to edit it. And this one also took a couple weeks, maybe longer, just because when I first started it, I don't know how it happened, but my hand kind of like fell on the molding place while it was drying, so I had to restart it. But yeah, it was in a few weeks.
And you redid all of the color at one point.
Yes.
Even though they were really similar. It was funny, you redid all of it.
Yeah, I had to redo it. I wasn't too happy with it, but I'm glad I did start over. Yeah, I'm a lot more happy with this version.
For mine, it just took like a week to complete it. Yeah, I gotta follow all the details and, yes. I want to make them light to dark colors here.
I was going to say, Jennifer, a lot of people ask about or comment on the glass of the timepiece there at Hourglass, and that seems like it would maybe be the most labor-intensive area of the.
To be honest, it was not really.
No. I kind of wondered if maybe it looks harder than, or it looks more time-consuming than it was to kind of simulate glass. Yeah.
I mean, when I did the piece, I basically tried to like I mostly tried to like see like which like shapes are like the most like easiest, or like yeah, and then I just like basically draw like over them. And, yeah, that's what I did.
I see.
And then to make like the glass color, I basically just like I can't remember. I just like go over like the different color like and just like
Slightly different tone.
yes, like different tones.
Good. Anyone else?
This photo of mine was taken on the Lakeshore Drive harbor, and it is called Marina, which is a harbor specifically for yachts and boats to be secured and supplied properly. I really wanted to explore this area on my own, just because since I moved in since I moved to Chicago, which was in May 2024, I had never gotten to this part of the Lakeshore Drive trail, and I personally consider it as the most beautiful part of it, just because of how much presence it has to it all the time, even when it does not have the boat on there. This was a sunset time, and I dedicated my entire day to do this photo shoot. This was a study for my photography class with Takashi, and it was late October. I was really afraid that I would not get to do the photo shoot because the boats could have been taken away at that time period. And I was really happy to get there on time for the sunset, and the sunset was very pretty. This is a time where the sun is completely gone and it's just the colors of the sky that are like fading away slightly. My favorite part to it is how they're perfectly lined up to the center, and there's no like there is a gradual transition between the colors, and no reflection to it at the moment, but it was very pretty like just a few minutes before that. So I would say it was a study for my class, but I felt really connected to it because I felt so good at the moment.
Is it Belmont or?
It is. It is
Beautiful.
Belmont.
What other questions do you have? I'm going to ask this to the juniors again later as an assignment. But I want to know like how, if anything has changed in terms of your ability to picture your own senior show next year, if something has changed in your thinking about the work that you put up here. What's it like to see it printed off the computer screen and up? What's it like to see it out of the sort of the busy painting studio and against a white wall? You know, all those things that can happen when you change the location of the piece and put it in conversation with other people. So I wonder kind of what your reflection is about any shifts that have happened in the way you see your piece or pieces and in the way that you think about your show next year.
I think for me, it's made it feel less daunting for sure. I like remember freshman year already thinking about the senior show. I just like was brainstorming what was important to me, and the idea of like noticing, the art of noticing already was with me way back then, which is interesting. But I think for sure part of me wants to keep going with that and explore different ways to represent that in art and like mixing different mediums. Like I could do more photography, but then work in painting because I've been really enjoying painting, and then get some graphic design. So I think getting some more experience and educating myself on all the different forms and mediums has been so amazing, and it's like made me excited. Like I feel very motivated, which I did before, which was because I felt not prepared. But now that I feel prepared, I'm like, oh, I'm excited now.
Okay.
That's great. So it's a big confidence boost.
Yes.
Nice.
I would sort of see like the same thing. I feel like actually seeing my work in like a gallery type scenery, it definitely gives me confidence because I have like a lot more art pieces that I would love to show you guys. That should probably be up here as well, but just like branching off into painting and drawing, like learning those skills, I think is very helpful with your like creativity and things like that, and they could like take you a long way. So just improving on those skills more, I think this definitely helps that.
I'd say the same. name. I love Becca and Jakai just because I feel like if it's just, since it'd be just my work, having a lot of space to work with, I think specifically like seeing how big I can probably print an image makes me excited as well. Just playing with like different size canvases and like prints as well.
Yeah.
It kind of does like it has my head kind of like spinning a little bit just because I do have an idea of what I would want to do for my show. Specifically, maybe it's working with texture and color a lot.
Good.
Especially.
Good. Those are good themes to like latch onto, you know, like, okay, I know that like these are, to be able to recognize threads, whether that's formal or conceptual, or it gives you a huge advantage for next year. Good.
Do we have the book from Zoe's show?
Larson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should look through hers because just like thinking of texture and color and like all the stuff she put in there, and a lot of it's like not what you would expect.
Yeah. She had a door and a tabletop.
Yeah, and she had a giant spool of sort of yarn that she'd made from all of the t-shirts she'd kept from like her life. She'd cut them up and made them into a giant rope that,
Yeah.
it's really cool. Every artwork she ever made with her grandpa at Home Depot workshops was like, I mean, it was packed full of texture, color, like stuff. You'd have to think about like, how do you bling it up, right? Because yours is more like that, right? But similar like surfaces, cover, color, texture could be really cool.
Yeah, for me, since freshman year, I always wanted to work on a piece that's related to Bruce Lee, martial arts, and all, and some also had some 3D stuff, like I mentioned during what's called Junior Critique, that I wanted to make cardboard pieces out of guns. I mean, I'm planning on making some guns out of cardboard, inspired by Rambo, Chuck Norris, and Clint Eastwood. And I'm also gonna have some printmaking stuff too. Yep. I'm going to connect all my pieces together, like using super glue to connect all my paintings together, cut some pieces like Kelly suggests.
Collaging, we talked about collaging old work on
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah, Emily said that, but I was thinking super gluing all the work together. I was all of a sudden I was like that, so I'm so curious. I'll be interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Just stack them all in.
Oh, speaking of Chuck Norris, yeah, I would like to have a moment of silence for since he passed away a couple days ago. Yeah. All right, there.
I think you should do that during your open.
I think so too.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up to you later.
Yeah.
It's good to know. I think the more you can integrate your interests, the better. I think thinking about your, I don't know, thinking about sort of how abstract your images and depictions of nature are, it makes me think of like all the camouflage in Rambo movies and the woods, and I think that there's something there to think about in a way to like make paintings about things that you like, things that you're interested in, so. Yeah.
I was just thinking too, like juniors, as you're planning your classes and registering.
Yes, registering this week.
Yes.
Athletes, you could register yesterday.
Yeah.
Anybody with accommodations. This is a registration announcement now. Register for your classes.
Gotcha.
But also just mentioning this because as you start to get into your classes for next year, I know that some of these started out as like, it was an assignment and something I had to do, and maybe something interesting kind of came about, or you learned something about yourself or the types of things you like to make. To be encouraged as you move into your classes for next year to, as a prompt is presented, try to find ways to connect that in with what you're doing, to reach out to your instructors and say, you know, actually I'm thinking about this, and see if there's a way to like align it with what you're interested in. If you're taking other classes or picking other classes, you're like, I have an elective and I don't know what I want to take. is there like a subject that might inform your work more that would make sense to kind of jump into?
Yeah.
So like you really have like a whole year to pull some of these things together and to really structure it in a way that will make your show like even better than it can be. So this is a wonderful to see all the work that's here and the directions you've been taking things, and to try to use your time really well and work with your advisors to like figure out what's the right mix of classes so that you can like be really successful next year.
That could be like a technical thing too, like take a class that's going to teach you how to use the 3D printer that's on campus, or take an anatomy class, or take a, there's lots of things to think about.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Anything else from anybody, or should we give everyone a final round of applause? Okay. Okay, thank you for coming. See you soon. And junior